And there's a character that I want to draw for you that was a lot of fun for me to draw. So I'm going to have to draw a little small because she's very tall. Very, very tall. So I'm going to get the stately, tall look of this creature by just drawing a few lines. I've seen it in my head so many times, and this was fun. This was fun to kind of work on and create. I've mentioned to you a couple of times a movie that never got made, but a lot of the characters were designed, and the movie was called Satyrday, spelled S-A-T-Y-R-D-A-Y. And there was something wonderful about this, about the characters that were in it. And there was this fox that was mentioned in the story as you read it, who was sort of magical and could do wonderful things. And the main character meant the fox. And the fox gave her advice, gave the main character, which was a little boy, gave him advice. And what I loved about this was it was just sort of whimsical. And I thought, and I want to draw a fox. I remember at the time, I want to draw a fox like you've never seen before. So it isn't just, and so you can see now, this is like a cloak that she's wearing, and foxes have a tail. So this is the fox face that's going on there. Her arms were very, very long, because I like this long kind of, and her fingers were very long. So it was something like this. And then the other arm, I think what I did is I came up high with it like this. So she was motioning with these long hands. So it was kind of creepy looking for a fox. This doesn't look like the kind that runs around, you know, being chased by a bunch of dogs. And then I said, where's her tail? And I thought if I could put a lump there, you know, where the tail was underneath it, or we could have this cloak split in the back and the tail was allowed to flow freely. And is it just a big fox tail? I thought, well, what if it were several tails? Like so. That's kind of interesting. So you can see very lightly, I haven't really started to draw this yet, and down here very, very low is this very tall creature, and there's the little fox feet. Would I show fox feet? I don't think so, but there would be little slippers of some kind. This was a fascinating story, by the way, and I always think, geez, I would have loved to have done this story. Very exotic creatures in it. It was about an owl. Actually, it wasn't about the whole, just an owl, but it was about a little boy who discovered that there were no human beings left in the world. And he was the last of them. And the villain was this great owl. I guess the reason we didn't do it is because we'd already done an owl, but there was this great owl who hated light and therefore stole the moon out of the sky. Not too good. All right, let me see if I can detail this a little bit. For such an exotic creature, I think you need to have a very exotic kind of pair of eyes. So, extremely slanted, like that. Beautiful nose, not too big, but all the features were very fine. And maybe not too wide a mouth, because this is a woman and I want her to look extremely exotic and everything. So I would make the eyebrows like that. And on her head, she wore some kind of a dress piece. So I would say, what if it were something that it's like a pair of antlers, but not really. But it's a crown of sorts that defines her head. And oh, I really had a lot of fun and a lot of hopes for this character, but we never did it. Maybe in another life. Anyway, that was the crown. Over her shoulders, this would have been really hard to animate, there was this fur, which would give her the feeling of, you know, still being a fox. And it would come down right in here, and let's see, maybe right at almost at the elbow would be where the fur is. I just drew it, I remember originally, where it was just, you know, a bunch of little lines like this, but you know that you could never animate that without getting, but nowadays with 3D, you could probably do very well. Then keeping the form of the fox, I came down here like this, so, and this split in the back. And for a little bit right here, we had this, and I figured, why not do the fox fur all around the little creature? So we had this, this is all going to be fur eventually. And it's going to come over here, and the around her elbows, the fur comes down once again. And then there's a whole bunching up of the fur over here, and then of course it does this, and it loops around, and finally connects there. This is fur, you have to imagine, because I won't be able to get all this in, I'm sure. Now, a few design lines to give it the feeling that it is flowing. And then we can go right ahead and do what is the fox's hands. And I thought if we made these very, very delicate and very much like human hands, but sort of strange, you know, long nails perhaps. And over on the other side, of course, we have more fur that would come down in front. I never, by the way, drew this from a friend-on point of view. And then right up here, here is the long nails again, the fingers of instruction. So you get that. Now, you can see all right now, I mean, I can see a lot of possibilities in getting this character animated. If I'd have had the opportunity to do that, that would have been really fantastic. But it never really happened. So that's where we were with the whole thing. Okay, there we go. So basically that was it. Let me get the tail coming out of here. Now the tail would probably not be too many hairs on that part of it, but down on the part hanging, these are like hanging tails. And then at the tip of each one of these, you know, something maybe which is a dark color like that. So there you have basically the character that could have been but was never used. And it's some kind of a magical fox, which is different than any fox you've ever seen before. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll let it be for this until the next time when we jump into the rag bag and find some more weirdos that no one has ever seen on the screen and probably never will. Keep doing it. By the way, let me remind you, your own designs and your own character stuff, your own original things, put them up on the website. I certainly enjoy seeing them and I want to comment on them. And join us on the Don Bluth Club. That's where we do a lot of our talking. And it just occurs to me that maybe this lady could smile. Anyway, thanks a lot. Talk to you more later.